The Ukrainian Armed Forces managed to break through in 3 districts of the Kursk region and achieve tactical success. This is stated in a fresh report by the Institute for the Study of War. Ukrainian forces reportedly carried out mechanized attacks using armored vehicles, advancing south and southwest of Berdyn and entering the southern part of the town. The offensive in the Leonidovo area has also been intensified. An attack has been carried out near Pushkarnoye, east of Sudzha. Meanwhile, Russian media outlets are writing that today, another upsurge in activity in Sudzha has been noted, which means the offensive is continuing. At the same time, Russian war correspondents reported some Russian advancement to the southeast of Makhnovka and along the road to southeastern Kurilovka, but ISW found no visual confirmation of these claims. It is also reported that the Russian mechanized column unsuccessfully tried to advance in the direction of Malaya Lokhnya. In addition, the report cites data from Russian war correspondents who complain that the Ukrainian armed forces destroyed most of the Russian mechanized columns in the Kursk region. Ukrainian forces are using long-range fire to block Russian rear areas and electronic warfare systems to suppress Russian drones supporting the advance of Ukrainian mechanized units. This indicates that the Ukrainian armed forces operating in the Kursk region are using more effective tactics of conducting combined arms operations, the Institute's analysts noted. Ukrainian forces entered Kursk region in August, seizing a chunk of territory. Russian forces have pushed them back in some areas without managing to eject them entirely. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, a Ukrainian new assault detachment consisting of 2 tanks, 1 military engineering vehicle and 12 armored fighting vehicles attacked near the village of Berdyn.
The British FV-101 Scorpion combat reconnaissance vehicle was spotted in service with the 2nd Operational Purpose Company, the 4-post 1st Operational Purpose Battalion of the Burevy 1st Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine, writes the Factum. In fact, the rare British light reconnaissance tank was probably purchased by volunteers, or it was purchased through private structures, analysts note. According to them, there was no official report on the transfer of the FV-101 Scorpion combat reconnaissance vehicle from Britain to Ukrainian soldiers. According to analysts from Infactum, the custom version of the FV-101 Scorpion is equipped with a 76mm cannon, that the sample in the photo has a 14.5mm Vladimirov heavy machine gun, probably because the cannon was missing when purchased or there was no ammunition for it. Note that observers from the Spanish defense wrote that the small but strong Scorpions are among the best light tanks in the world. Due to their speed and maneuverability, they are ideal for reconnaissance. The Spanish Marine Corps also use them for landing on ships and in amphibious operations. However, in 2007, Spain decommissioned them due to the high costs of modernization. Analysts from Infactum noticed the British FV-101 Scorpion armoured reconnaissance vehicle in service with the Burevy 1st Brigade of the NGU. The Scorpion FV-101 is armed with the low-velocity 76mm L23A1 gun, which could fire high explosives, HESH, smoke, and canister rounds. Storage was provided for 40 or 42 rounds. A 7.62mm coaxial L7 GPMG was also fitted, as were 2 multi-barreled smoke grenade dischargers, 1 on each side of the turret. The main armament has an elevation of 35 degrees and a depression of 10 degrees. The turret has a full 360-degree traverse. The traverse was, however, hand-cranked, a cost-saving feature that made the turret relatively slow and laborious to traverse relative to other vehicles of its type. This gun was later deemed to be unsatisfactory, as RAF testing showed that the lack of a fume extraction system caused toxic fumes to enter the fighting compartment, endangering the crew's health. The FV-101 was a very light armoured vehicle weighing in at a mere 8 tons. This meant some compromises had to be made on protection. The vehicle had 12.7mm of sloped aluminium armor, giving an average effective thickness of 25mm. The FV-101 had all-round protection from shell fragments and 7.62mm rounds, and the heavy sloped frontal arc was designed to be resistant to 14.5mm rounds fired from 200 meters. The initial manufacture of the aluminium armor resulted after time and effects of the environment in failure, stress corrosion cracking, which seriously affected all early builds. Ukrainian Volunteer Army spokesman Serhiy Bratchuk says the islands between the left and right banks of the Dnipro River are deadly for the Russian army. He said this on Espresso TV. The islands are under the Ukrainian Defense Forces fire control. The artillery counterattack is yielding results. Several enemy boats were destroyed over the last day. These are boats Russia is trying to use to get to the islands. Currently, they are targeting Kozatsky, Veliki, Potomkin, and Zabich Islands, noted Bratchuk. According to a spokesperson for the Ukrainian Volunteer Army, the goal of the Russian troops is to capture small island footholds, which will allow them to put pressure on the right bank territories of Ukraine. The Russian activity is also aimed at deterring the defense forces to prevent the transfer of Ukrainian reserves to certain areas of the front. The islands are really deadly for the enemy because even those Russians who can somehow gain a foothold there have no additional ammunition, food or drinking water. It is a one-way trip for them, Bratchuk emphasized. Over the past months, Russia has intensified its offensive operations across multiple fronts in Ukraine. Of these operations, a small-scale series of battles along the Dnipro River in the Kherson Oblast may carry very significant consequences. Russian and Ukrainian forces are fighting for control of the Kozatsky and Kurilovka Islands, which are located at the river's mouth where it empties into the Black Sea. This operation is strategically important since securing these islands would allow Russia to control access to the Dnipro River, a key geographic feature in Ukraine. The Dnipro River stretches over 2,200 kilometers from Russia's Valdai Hills to the Black Sea, dividing Ukraine in two. Several major Ukrainian cities, including Kyiv, are situated along its course. The river has played a pivotal role in the conflict. As part of the initial invasion, Russian forces captured Kherson, the strategic city at the river's mouth, in March 2022. In November 2022, Ukraine recaptured Kherson, and the retreating Russian forces destroyed several bridges across the river. Although Ukrainian forces later attempted to establish a bridgehead, they suffered heavy losses and ultimately abandoned the effort. Currently in the Kherson Oblast, Russia controls the river's east bank while Ukraine holds the west. In particular, both sides need small boats to assault and claim the islands. These boats allow for quick movement in shallow waters and are difficult to detect, particularly at night.